I'm going to take this a step back. I don't know if it's correct analysis or even fair analysis to lump in the San Antonio Spurs as a small market team.
Why?
They are a small market team, but they have Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Greg Popovich.
Well, you got to start somewhere. Is the point? You can. How do you become the next San Antonio? Is basically what I'm asking.
Well, you have the best general manager in basketball.
It's pretty good.
You have arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time.
It's pretty good.
You also have a #1 draft pick in, I don't know, Tim Duncan, and then you pick up a.
And before that, David Robinson.
And that's my point.
You do a great job in the second round. Which is where they got Ginobili.
You're very good at drafting. You're very good at drafting a guy like Tony Parker, who many people hadn't heard of. They rolled the dice a little bit on Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard was a very good player at San Diego State University. People seem to forget that. Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
Anybody who watches Mountain West basketball knows that Kawhi Leonard was a very good player. But I don't know if it's fair to categorize the San Antonio Spurs as a small market team, even though literally they are. I think the watershed moment that we could see when it comes to NBA free agency is what we saw with Greg Monroe going to the Milwaukee Bucks.
And spurning the Knicks.
Fear the deer. Are you kidding me? Someone went to Milwaukee. You're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. The only time I go to Milwaukee is when I'm passing through to go to Green Bay and go to the casinos.
I wouldn't even go on a long weekend.
Exactly. Also, you look at a team like Dallas. When it comes to television markets, Dallas is a big market team. But I really don't look at Dallas as a big market team. I look at Chicago, LA, Miami, New York. Those are big. Those are big market
Dallas
teams.
Dallas acts like a big market team
because they have Mark
with that
Cuban.
owner. They act like it. They want to win every year, and they're not happy if they don't. And they rarely have more than one losing season or one non-playoff season in a row.
Let me draw a parallel for you. Okay. Everyone says, well, LaMarcus Aldridge didn't go to LA. He didn't go to New York. You had a guy who was playing in LA, DeAndre Jordan, leave Los Angeles to go to Dallas. So to me, when I see this, to answer your original question, this gives me a little bit of hope. If Moutier turns out to be a pretty good player, that Denver does not continue to be a flyover city. If Milwaukee can do it, maybe the Denver Nuggets can lure a free agent in.
Well, I think a few things have to happen. And Alex Kennedy, our guest, mentioned a couple of them. Moutier has to be a player which lends to more wins,
yes.
Okay? You've got to become a winning franchise. That attracts players, all right? Number two, you've got to have a GM type or an owner type who can recruit. It's almost like the college game. You have to recruit to Denver because everybody likes to refer to it as a flyover city. So you have to recruit people here. And do you think Tim Connelly is that guy? Do you think he can recruit people here? I love Tim's energy.
I don't know if
and I love his love for the area.
All I can go by with Tim Connelly is this. Nurkic was a good pick. I can't tell you if
Gary Harris
is going to be any good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give Tim Connelly a lot of credit for drafting Moutier.
Way not?
Moutier
He could have gone different ways. He could have gone to Justice Winslow. He could have gone Frank Kaminsky. He could have gone. He could have picked any number of other players.
He could have drafted me.
They also
Moutier was the obvious choice. Any moron could have picked Moutier. The fact that he
there are a lot of morons in sports. Okay,
I know. Look at what Phil Jackson did.
Exactly,
he should have taken Moutier, but he didn't. Moutier
look at what Sacramento did as well.
I would agree. Moutier fell into the Nuggets' lap, and that's the guy who they wanted. They talked about trading up to get him, and as it turns out, Sacramento took Willie Cauley-Stein?
I'm not making this a referendum
really
on Tim Connelly's drafting ability. I'm asking you, do you think, and you've gotten to know Tim Connelly a little bit, is he a recruiter? Can he get players to come here? Because you got to have that guy.
No.
No?
No, you don't need a GM you don't need a GM to recruit.
Oh, you disagree with the premise.
No, your players recruit. Your players recruit.
Oh, I think the GM and the owner help a lot.
No, unless
I think Mark Cuban helps a lot in Dallas, okay?
Mark Cuban and Pat Riley. Give me other guys who are executives, maybe Phil Jackson, although that worked out well. Jerry
Buss used to do a pretty damn good job of it in L.A.
used to. And now his son is an unmade bed, and that's why the Lakers are as bad as they are. Very few executives can recruit.
Well, here's the other thing you're going to have to do. You're probably going to have to overpay. You're probably going to have to overpay guys to come to Denver, which is fine. The salary cap is going to be so dang high in another year or two that everybody's going to be overpaying for everybody.
I would totally.
I think there's hope.
It just depends on the personality you have as your owner or your GM. John Elway can recruit because he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Well, it's also the NFL, where even Green Bay is an attractive place to go for a lot of players.
Well, because the more NBA is different, or the NFL is different than the NBA for this reason. I'm going to Antarctica if they're giving me more guaranteed money to play in the NFL.
Yeah, good point. Segment sponsored by John Elway Chevrolet, Colorado's #1 Chevy dealer.
When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You probably want a lot of cars to choose from. And you want the dealership's best price. Not some starting price or target price, the best price. And you want it immediately, not after hours of negotiating. And you want a salesperson who doesn't get paid more if you spend more. Because, well, you don't want to spend more. Well, you're in luck. John Elway wants all of those things too. Better yet, John Elway wants you to have all of those things too. Come see us or click on elwaydealers.com.